Welcome to your more. You may be on your path to having it all, right? The house, family, money, and travel. When suddenly something shatters your ideal world, it shifts your perspective. You realize, or maybe even decide, having it all isn't all that. It may leave you feeling unhappy, unsatisfied, or unfulfilled. You're left wanting something more, but you can't quite put it into words. Others, they don't get it. They pacify you. I've stood in your shoes. Hello, I'm Gina, the spark behind Exquisitely Aligned. Your more starts now. First, let's shatter the myths around mundane thoughts and mediocrity. Today, I'll be discussing why conformity isn't the answer and how to shift the pressure from conformity to one of exquisite alignment. Simply put, you can think of conformity as being a one-size-fits-all life or a one-size-fits-all paradigm. We live in a world that's constantly begging us to conform. And the problem is it really wants to maintain status quo. It feels like the pull of an intense, strong magnet, and not in a positive way. Sadly, it pulls us towards the whole and away from ourselves, our uniqueness, our birthright, our gifts. The more people in the group, the more intense the force. Don't belittle it. The problem is it pulls us away from who we were born to be, our truths, our desires, and our gifts. Our truths, the ones only we know, they reside so deeply within us that they are invisible to others. Our desires, the ones that are written on our heart, not only are they written on our heart, they cause our heart to beat. Our gifts. They are unique gifts and talents that only we possess. We were divinely chosen to express them. It might sound like a game. It's not. I consider or call it a trap. And once you're in it, it takes over your way of thinking, being, and living. Many refer to it as mass consciousness. I'm guessing you've heard that before. If you're energy sensitive, you probably have felt it. It's intense. I typically feel it during an election year. We all know it was palpable around the world when COVID was named a pandemic. This force or this pull that's begging us to conform has been around since the birth of mankind. It satisfies our natural human emotional need to affiliate with and be accepted by members of a group, essentially to belong. Let me say it again because I want to drive this home. It satisfies our natural human emotional need to affiliate and be accepted by members of a group, essentially to belong. And we can see evidence of this in history, right? Tribes forming, languages forming, religious affiliations forming. The need to belong, it's ingrained within us. When we belong, we no longer feel alone. We feel empowered. Our first affiliation is with our family. Can you remember a time when maybe your parents or siblings wanted you to conform to their way of thinking, being, or living? Or maybe it's still happening. I'm getting an image of you chuckling and nodding your head. Yes. I remember being in grade school and my mother would try to dress me in ruffles. She loved anything and everything feminine. And I didn't. I knew at a young age that conforming to her idea of fashion didn't suit me. Let's fast forward. I'm now a mom with a teenage daughter at home. She was getting ready for her high school homecoming dance. We were all excited. She found the perfect dress in the perfect color with some sparkle to it. And I asked her, okay, what kind of shoes should we be looking for? What would you like to wear? And she looked at me with a straight face and said, I don't need shoes. I'm wearing my Converse. as a retired department store shoe buyer. I was dumbfounded. What do you mean? You can't wear them with a fancy dress. I could feel my blood pressure rising. I could feel my cheeks becoming beet red. I was thinking, where on earth did I go wrong? Why would my daughter think that wearing a pair of Converse with a dress like this is appropriate? Finally, a vision popped in my head, the frilly fight, the one I had with my mother that I just told you about. And I remembered, who am I to ask her to conform to my ways of dressing? And knowing just how much my daughter loves to dance, it's a part of her world, her part of her life. And it was, I loved to dance back then too. I came home with blisters on my feet. I knew if she went to that dance with her Converse sneakers on, she would not come home with blisters. The emotional need to belong is evident in today's society as well. We have high schoolers with their friends group, my daughter and her friends group. We have sport teams and their fans wearing the garb, the paraphernalia. At the office amongst coworkers, right? Monday through Friday, we want to feel part of that group. Religious organizations, they help us feel part of something bigger and greater than ourselves. Networking groups for business owners. What about country clubs, right? A group of people with similar socioeconomic status. When my husband was deathly ill about 12 years ago, we joined a support group. We quickly knew and felt part of something. We knew we weren't alone. It was mutually beneficial for us and each of its members. And today, we even have Facebook groups bringing people together from around the world. Each of these nourish our emotional need to be accepted by a group. Our emotional need for acceptance, approval, and acknowledgement, along with support, is nourished when we belong to a group. We no longer feel alone. But how does it feel to conform to the group's way of thinking, being, and living? That's what I want to challenge you with today. How does it feel? Before we know it, the masses sway us in our decision-making process. The pull or force to be part of the whole is powerful. Picture a football field or a soccer field. One end behind the goalpost, there's 1 million+ people having a grand old time. They're smiling, they're having a good time, they're dressed similarly. And on the far end, there's you with a handful of people. And you're standing there. Would you begin to wonder or feel awkward? Would you begin to wonder if maybe you're on the wrong side? Would you begin to wonder if everyone is, the majority is over there, it must be better. The grass must be greener, as we say. It would only be natural for that thought to come into your mind. After all, it's only human to want to belong. But belonging at what price? After decades of working with women, I've found 3 scenarios and roles surrounding conformity, and I've changed these women's names to protect them. So let me introduce you to Nora. Nora, a parent's dream, a teacher's pet, an employer's every hope, a husband's perfect wife, and the ideal daughter-in-law. And of course, she wins Mother of the Year. You figured that out, right? She's sitting across from me in one of our sessions, and she, in confidence, explains to me that she's never questioned authority. She's always done what she believed to be right. But is she truly happy? Is she truly satisfied? Is this life that she's created fulfilling for her? Are you shaking your head no? I would say that Nora has been playing the nice girl. Okay, now at the other end of the spectrum, let me introduce you to Rachel. Rachel, she is bold. She speaks her truth freely and even louder when others aren't listening. She's known she was unique since a young age, and she's kind of known for celebrating it. Many know her for her radical thoughts. Her family often jokes that maybe she was accidentally switched at birth, and Rachel thinks that it might have happened. I would say Rachel is playing the role of the rebel. She's been fighting against conformity all her life, and a good fight indeed. But is she truly happy? Is she truly satisfied? Is this life that she's created fulfilling for her or exhausting? Finally, there's Fran. Fran, she was born a very nice girl, but as many teens do, she became a rebel. Then maturity began to set in, and she found herself playing nice again. She says it was what she felt she needed to do to excel in her career and to make peace in her marriage. Well, time passed, okay, decades, and suddenly her life, it changed. It looked different. The kids grew up and moved out. She explains to me that she and her husband grew apart. They separated and divorced. And now she's explaining to me that she's become a rebel again. Unfortunately, though, she's feeling even more confused, stressed, and frustrated. I would say Fran's back and forth between nice girl and rebel has left her playing the role of frustrated rebel. I just wanted to introduce you to these three scenarios and roles because they may leave us feeling unhappy, unsatisfied, or unfulfilled. I'm guessing in your lifetime you've met a Nora, a Rachel, and a Fran. Maybe you've played their role. If this is an issue for you, we're going to get you through this. I think you will agree, giving up parts of yourself, people-pleasing, and feeling misaligned are not the answer. So what is? In my opinion, the only logical answer is to reconnect with our truths, reconnect with our desires, and reconnect with our gifts. We have to shift the pressure off of conformity and onto one of exquisite alignment. And the best way I know how is to use the formula of exquisite alignment. I'm guessing if you're still with me, there's a few things we probably have in common, with the first one being, I'm guessing you have a big heart. You're probably energy sensitive. You are driven to be the best vision and the best version of yourself. You look out into the world and can easily see what's missing. You long for peace and you long for love in our world. If that's true for you, then I must share my truth with you. I believe the world is missing today what only you have to give. Yes, you. That's why I feel so enthusiastic and passionate about sharing exquisite alignment. I know an exquisitely aligned woman or man are the greatest force for good in the world today. So, how do you exquisitely align? Well, instead of conforming, instead of giving away your power and playing into those roles, you become your own authority. You escape the one-size-fits-all life or paradigm and shift into your uniqueness. You exquisitely align with your inner wisdom. You become your longing. After all, you are one of a kind. You become the authority in your life. You align with your higher self, your divine essence, your gut instinct, your intuition, whatever you want to call it. This is a decision we need to make, a choice we need to choose all day, every day. This is where you live in freedom to be who you are called to be. This is where you feel your best. You glow. You are the best vision of yourself. You are the best version of yourself. This is the feeling you get when you're driving a convertible with the top down. The sun and clouds are ideal. The temperature is just so. You look and feel amazing. Your favorite people are in the car with you. You're exploring a beautiful new exotic place. And as if it couldn't get any better, your favorite song comes on the radio and you and those loved ones begin to sing together. It's nirvana. You're feeling blissed out. Everything in your world is perfect. I know you've had these moments. I'm talking about feeling that way every day. I'm talking about being exquisitely aligned. I'm talking about living exquisitely aligned. That's what's waiting for you, your unlived life. Leave conformity behind and choose to exquisitely align. Take a moment. Think about all your life experiences, right? Some easy and amazing, and others probably not so easy, maybe hellish. They've shaped you. They've created who you've become today. That's huge. Today, I ask you to stop downplaying your achievements to make others happy. Stop downplaying your superpowers to fit in. Stop downplaying your gifts to belong. Today, I invite you to escape from conformity and invite you to accept and acknowledge yourself. Accept and acknowledge your life experiences, your truths. Accept and acknowledge your desires. Accept and acknowledge your gifts, those amazing gifts. And most importantly, invite you to be your own authority. Let's face it, there's no one out there who knows you better than yourself. You hold all the answers. You hold all the keys. You simply being you. It truly is an inside job. Escape the one-size-fits-all life because conformity isn't the answer. Exquisite alignment is. You being you. Be your longing. Join me next time where we'll delve into this even deeper, a one-size-fits-all life and how to actively stand against it. I want to help you escape from the conformity that's been pulling on you. And between then and now, if you have any questions or would like to get together for a chat, I'm always open to that. I understand that magnetic pull can sometimes for so long pull us away from our own essence that we might need someone else's eyes to help us get back on track. And if you'd love to chat, let me know. You can reach me on Facebook, on LinkedIn at gina@exquisitelyaligned.com, or go on to my website, Exquisitely Aligned. Till next time, escape conformity and be exquisite.